friends, welcome back. My name's Taina, but everyone call me TT. So today's video is gonna be a little different. I'm really gonna actually be doing my makeup while I'm talking to you guys. Maybe it's not so different. Basically talk about like the transition from moving from North Jersey to South Jersey. See, I know they both in Jersey, but there really is a difference between them two. There's really a difference how North Jersey is and how South Jersey is, and I really can explain that because I lived in both areas for a while. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to title this video yet, but let's get into it. But first, I'm going to do my non-existent eyebrows. Okay, I don't know why I'm acting all weird. I don't know, I just feel a little weird making this video because it's like I feel like I'm letting people in my business, and I don't like that. Like, you in my business? Don't do that. So I gotta put primer on my face. So we're gonna start off when I moved there. So I moved from North Jersey to South Jersey in the middle of my 8th grade. It was a day, it was a football game because I used to be a cheerleader. I used to cheer for Eastwick Saints. So that's in Elizabeth. So I used to cheer for them, and it was like we had a game that day. I don't remember it being a serious football game, but we had a football game that day. And so my mom's like, oh, we're going to South Jersey today. So I'm like, okay, but my best friend aunt already knew that we weren't going. So my mom told me I could go upstairs to her house. So I went to her house and I'm telling them, you guys, I'm going to South Jersey, like, to go see my other family, because I have a cousin that lived out here like majority of his life. So I'm like, yeah, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah. Mind you, they already knew because my mom told my best friend's aunt, but she told them not to tell us. Forever we'll be mad at Imani for this because I can't believe she didn't even tell me. So they already knew. So I'm like, okay. So me, my brother, my sister, we all thinking we're just going to South Jersey just to go see family. We're literally in the highway, in the middle of the highway, and my mom goes, we're moving to South Jersey. I should have realized something because all our stuff was packed. Like, my mom was packing everything. I don't know why it didn't click. It was just, I was so caught up in doing all the stuff that we were already doing. I was just caught up in my like school and cheerleading that I didn't even realize that, and having a good time. Like, none of us was really paying attention because we were just being, you know, teenagers, kids. I just know I was in the car and I was bawling my eyes out. Like, I was so sad that I couldn't believe it. Like, I'm like, what? I'm like, wait, like, we didn't even know. She just literally told us we were going to see family in the middle of the highway. On our way there, she tells us we're moving there. Like, imagine that. So we're all in the car, me, my older sister, and my little brothers. We're all like confused and like, what, like, why? Like, I was in the car and I was bawling my eyes out. Like, I was crying. I could not stop crying. It was the point I cried, fell asleep, woke up, and cried again. Like, that's how upset I was. And I just couldn't believe it. It was just like terrible. And of course my mom was getting upset that I was crying that we were leaving Elizabeth, because Elizabeth was like, what, it's not the best place to live, really not. Like, there was violence, gang, it was the ghetto, the hood. But Elizabeth, I've grown here, lived there majority of my life. Like, that's all I ever knew, Elizabeth. Like, I grew, like, this is where I was born here. I grew up here. And most of my friends I've been friends with, like, I've known them since, like, some of them I met in kindergarten and 1st grade. Some of them we had pre-K classes. Like I knew majority of the people there, like, and all my family was there. Like, that's all I've ever known was Elizabeth. So it was just like her, like, so us just getting up and leaving, it was just, it literally broke my heart. I was so sad. I'm on the phone with my best friend. I'm like, like, I was literally, like, not even trying to be funny. Like, that's how I was. Like, I had the most ugliest cry face. So I was like crying my eyes out, so sad. And it was just like, it was so crazy. And when I got there, you know, my cousins was like, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna introduce you to everybody. You know, you're gonna start your new life here. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, starting a new, like, it's like, I was in a place where I didn't know nobody. I didn't know the area. Like, where I lived, I knew the area like the back of my head. It was just like, what am I doing here? It was just so upsetting. And I just couldn't believe it. And it took me a while to adapt because I was just so different from everybody. Like, that's how I felt. Like, the way the kids were at the school, it was like they were different. Like, the area was so nice and everything, and the way their school was set, it was so different. Like, I remember once I started going to school there, so in Elizabeth, in school too, we had security guards, and we had like metal detect. Like, once we walked in, we had to go through the metal detectors. They checked our bag, stuff like that. I know, sounds like prison. And I remember, and I'm like, where are you guys security guards? Where's the metal detectors? Like, it didn't have that. I'm like, But I totally remember that. That's one thing that's like always upsetted me, because it was like my mom just packed up and moved us. No explanation, no nothing. Didn't even tell us we were leaving. It literally felt like I left everything behind. So it's like now I'm in a new school, and now I'm in a new town, and it was just so different. It was like it was like it's a whole bunch of highways and everything. In Elizabeth, I could just walk everywhere, but in South Jersey, it's not like that. You literally have to have a car to go places, and it's just like a whole bunch of highways, forests, trees. But in Elizabeth's the city. It's not hard to get around, and I could just walk places. Like they didn't have no corner stores. I'm like, where's the corner store? No corner store. I'm just like, what in the? I'm like, this is really the suburbs. Like, I really moved to suburbs, and the difference about them is just like that. It was just like it's just like all fancy and everything. Everything just looked so much fancier than it did in Elizabeth. And in the area of South Jersey I moved to was Blackwood. I lived in Millbridge. So now I'm here in a new school, and I just like, I couldn't help but compare the two while I was there. The way the kids were in South Jersey, it was like, y'all not really like that. And I couldn't see them really being like that, because this is like, there was so much more advantages in South Jersey than we had in Elizabeth. Like, first of all, the school food was way better. I'm like, I wish y'all had lunch out there, because the school food was way better. Building was nicer. It wasn't as big, because their middle school went from, I think, yeah, 5th to 8th, but I was in the same school for a while because of how it went. Like, and then yeah, everything was just nicer, and then there was a lot of white people. Like, the school I went to was like, it was mixed. There was blacks, it was Haitians, a lot of Haitians, Black, Haitians, Spanish. It wasn't as much, like, I don't remember spotting a single white person in Elizabeth or up north. But out here, it was like a lot of white people, a lot of highways, a lot of big, nice houses. I'm not saying there was none you can't find up north, but I mean, if you build one, I guess. It was just a lot of difference with them too. So like, living in South Jersey, it was just like, I got real like distance. Like, everybody knows me, like, know that I'm an outgoing person. I'm loud, I'm crazy, like, I fight. Like, I was like that, like, just ghetto. But when I moved to South Jersey, like, since it was so different, I didn't know the area, I was really laid back, and I paid attention a lot. So what I really noticed about the kids out there, and then the one compared to Elizabeth, like, they wanted to have this hard lifestyle. Like, they wanted to be able to brag about living in a project, living in the ghetto. Like, this is what they wanted to do. They wanted to be like hard, known for fighting. Like, they wanted that life. And then there was an area called Camden in South. There's an area called Camden in South Jersey. Now that's the hood. That's the only hood in South Jersey. Any other place they talking about, ignore them. Ignore them. And this is when I found out about Camden. They talked about Camden a lot. And I'm like, what's Camden? And most of these black kids, like, literally been at the school since elementary school, but was trying to rep Camden because they wanted to have this persona about them. They wanted the people to be scared of them. They wanted the people to see them as like these ghetto hood kids. And I'm just looking, I'm paying attention to the way they act and everything, and like trying to be hard, trying to scare people, and thought they were macho man, but they literally lived that since. Like, they literally have like elementary photos of them living in Blackwood. And then I thought about how the life there was in Elizabeth, and I just realized how different it was, because it's like people, like the kids in Elizabeth, like this is like, we didn't have to brag about, like, how can I explain it? We didn't have to sit there and brag about, like, oh, our house being shot up, or like us getting into fight, or like, it's like, because this is just how we lived, and not because we wanted to have this, like, this stereotype on us, but it was just like, that's just how it was. And it's because of where we lived and how we lived. It's not like we chose to, like, being in the streets, family members being in the streets. Like, them kids out here, they bragged about stuff like that because they wanted people, they wanted this black stereotype. But it was like, it was not really like that for, it's like, it wasn't like we was forcing it back in Elizabeth. It was like, that's just how life was. And I just paid attention. I'm like, you guys are lucky to even live in a real safe environment. And you guys are trying to put up this persona of how you, like, of how you are, just to, like, get people to fear you. And it's like, there's real kids that live out there that has to deal with the violence, the gangs, the shooting. And it's not a gang to them. It's not something to brag about. And all they know is, like, that lifestyle. So they was trying to put on this lifestyle, and I was just like, and it sickened me. I was just like, wow, this is how you want to be? When I lived in Elizabeth, I was a wild child, you can say. I like being outside. Well, all kids like being outside, but you know, I like hanging out with the guys. I like play fine. I was like a little tomboy. Like, I played fought a lot. I was into sports in a way. So I was like real goofy. I was real annoying because I used to love bothering people. Like, I loved bothering people. I fought a lot. I was real goofy. Acted real slow. Like, this is how I was. Like, I've always been the type of person to be in my books. Like, I've always knew I wanted to go to college. Even before I left Elizabeth, like, I always knew I wanted to go to college. You know, I was always known as the smart kid, but my teachers said, you're very smart, but the decisions you make wasn't. Because I always chose to fight, to argue. Like, I didn't care. Like, every week I was getting suspended. I would come back one week, the next 3 days later, I was suspended because I was always fighting. And I didn't know, like, I couldn't really explain it. Like, I didn't fight to, like, I didn't fight to be tough. I fought because, like, that was just how my attitude was. It's like, I felt disrespected, I wanted to fight. You think you'll get smart with me? I want to fight. You think you're going to get up in my face and I'm not going to say nothing? I want to fight. Like, that's just how it was. I was just a little fighter, and I don't know why. I think I kind of knew why, but it's just like, I was kind of like I'm not going to say an angry child, but that's just how it was. Like, I fought all the time. I fought, and I didn't care. I didn't care how it affected me. I didn't care who felt some way about it. Like, I would get kicked. I was a kid that got kicked out of class all the time because I was getting smart with the teachers, disrespecting the teachers, you know, fighting. The only reason why I keep mentioning fighting, because that's most of the time I got suspended was for fighting. But that's just how it was, and it was like, I was like that for a very long time. I mean, I didn't start fighting until like 4th grade. That's when I really started putting a pause on people. But before 4th grade, I had a smart mouth. I talked a lot of shit about how nobody felt. It was just like, what you gonna say to me? What you gonna do to me? Nothing. Like, that's how I was. That's the type of person I was in Elizabeth. And like, I got caught up in a lot of drama because, you know, I was just always in the mix. And I was always in the mix because I had a smart mouth and I knew everybody, and I knew everybody knew me. So it was just like, and like, people knew my family members. So it was just like, I felt as though can nobody tell me nothing. But moving to South Jersey really did change my personality in a way. Like, I'm still really goofy, play around a lot, and I could be a tomboyish at times. But after moving to South Jersey and I seen how some of the kids were acting, I guess it really settled me. It made me really calm down, because it's like, I seen that they wanted to be these type of kids, and it was like, I was only like that because of how I grew up and, you know, where I was living. Like it was like basically living in Elizabeth, like it's like you had to stand your ground. But after seeing how those kids, like, it calmed me down. Like I became more chill, more like paid attention a lot. Like I paid attention. I was more respectful with the teachers because I seen how some of the students used to like talk to the teachers, and it was to be like to get a rise out of people, just to make themselves look cool, I guess. And I thought that was whack. I thought that was real lame. So when I got I respected my teachers a whole lot more. Like I started actually listening, paying attention in class. Like I literally like changed my whole personality. It's like if anybody was to come back, like if anybody that, you know, knew me growing up in Elizabeth and see how I just automatically just transformed myself when I lived in Blackwood, they would probably be like, who is this? This Taina? Because in Elizabeth they know me as Taina, because, you know, like I said, I've lived there all my life. But out here I'm known as TT. So sometimes it feels like I'm living a double life. Like sometimes I think as Elizabeth as my past life, and out here as like my new life. So that's how I was. Like I was just in Elizabeth, I was just real bad, I ain't gonna lie, I was real ignorant. I got caught, I loved fighting, always in the drama. I was that person like, what, you said something? Oh, and then you know what, and I realized a lot of the girls in Elizabeth used to be like, she thinks she's so tough, she thinks she this, she thinks she that. And I never understood why they would say that, but now I do, because it was like I really did act like that. I really did act like I was untouchable, like nobody could touch me. And it's like, girl, why was you acting like that? Like I really did act like that. And after moving to South Jersey in Blackwood and seeing some of the kids act like that, it was just like, that's not cute, that's not cool. I don't know who you think you are, but baby, pipe down, because there's real girls out here that's really about it, that will tear your up. So calm it down. Like that's how I felt. And even for the boys, like a lot of the black kids wanted to rep Camden so bad to make themselves look tough. And I'm like, if you're really from the hood and if you're really about that life, when you got here, you wouldn't be doing all this talking. You wouldn't. Because most of the kids that lived in the hood be like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. Oh, I can't wait to grow up and leave. They're not gonna brag about it. They're gonna talk about how they can't wait to like just get up out of there. Because everybody want a better life. Nobody want that hood life, that ghetto life, that gang violence life, like living like that for the rest of their life. Don't nobody really want that. It really did impact me in a way. Like it really got me to see, it's like it really got me to see, it really look at life. Like I really became, even after 8th grade year and I graduated and I got into high school, I really became antisocial because I just paid attention a lot, because I was just watching how everybody moved and how they acted, and it was just like, and you know, most of the kids knew me as the nice kid. Like unless they really got to know, if they really got to know me, they knew that I was like, I played around a lot, I was goofy, and you know, I fought. But if you didn't, you would see me as like the quiet kid, the chill kid, like the one that just like didn't do the most. But if you really know me, you know I do the most. And that's just how it was for me, because it was just like the way how they acted in it. And honestly, moving out here did, you know, impact me in a way. And I don't think it changed just me. It also changed my older sister, it changed my brothers. It was just like a weird transition for us, like moving from the ghetto to the suburb. The weirdest transition ever. It made me want to do better with myself. It made me want to do more, and I ended up doing track, because I remember, you know, I did run track in Elizabeth my 6th grade year, and I loved it. I loved it. I enjoyed it, and my coach told me I was good, and I ended up stopped doing it because I had to walk my little brothers and my little brother and my little cousin home from school, so I couldn't do it anymore. So track taught me something, and I don't think it was just that track taught me something. It was my coaches that really helped me grow as a person. Like it taught me like determination, like setting goals. Like I was just becoming like a way better person, and like I really learned a lot of life lessons being on the track team, because my coach, he was born and raised in Camden, and he talked about how life was in Camden for him and everything. And I'm like, right, like, because I met some Camden kids, I realized a lot of them do try to do better with themselves, do better with their life, because they know how it really is like living in Camden, and their family from being from Camden. They know how life really is like out there, so they want to do better. You know, they want to do something with themselves. So me and him could relate a lot. To this day, I really am thankful that I did join the track team, because it really did taught me a whole, like, it did teach me life lesson. It made me like strive to do even better in life, and it really taught me how to not give up and always just work hard. And it just made me take my life way more seriously than I ever would have if I feel like if I ever lived in Elizabeth. Like, sometimes I feel like if I still lived in Elizabeth, I probably would have been worse than what I was as a kid. But living out here really made me better and made me a better person. Like, it really did. Like, nowadays, like, all I do is strive to be a whole better version of me. Like, I set goals for myself. I work hard. Like, and I feel like it made me a whole lot wiser and less, like, not as ignorant as I used to be. I'm not gonna say Elizabeth made me like that. I feel like seeing how some of the kids acted out here just made me want to turn my whole life around, because it's like, if this is how I was looking, this is not how I want to be. And it did. And I realized it also made me a whole lot more emotional, because I mean, I've always been an emotional person, but I mean more emotional is like, I wasn't really in touch with my feelings as much as I used to be in Elizabeth, because I always had this heart like this, like, you know, real aggressive all the time, you know, real mean, real rude. And being out here made me realize how sensitive I really am and how things really do hurt me easily, and why I am the way I am, because it's like I'm trying to kind of protect myself from people that try to purposely come into my life and try to hurt me, because, you know, everybody been through hurt in life. So it's like I really became more in touch with my, like, how I felt and like what really upsets me, just really more in touch with my feelings. And I realized I was starting to change a lot, like, in the middle of my freshman year, like when I started doing spring track, because I had a lot of great people on my track team, and, you know, they really helped me to become a better person. And that's when I realized I was starting to change a lot, because it was like fighting, I didn't want to fight anymore. I was over fighting, even though when I got out here I was fighting, because I was still kind of rowdy. Like, I was fresh out of Elizabeth. I was still kind of rowdy, and I was just mad. I was mad that I even moved, and then I was mad at how the kids were acting, because it's like, why do you want to act like that? Why do you want to be like this? Like, you can do so much better for yourself. Like, you literally got an early start to do better with your life, and you guys are choosing the stereotypical black kids. Like, why? So it was like, dang, I'm doing my makeup mad slow. And please don't, like, this is not no makeup tutorial. This is just how I do my makeup, and this is what works for me. So, like, I realized the things that used to fascinate me don't fascinate me no more. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I used to like fighting, I really did. But then I got to a point where I just hated it, and it's like, I don't want to spend my entire lifetime just fighting, especially fighting for no reason. Like, what do I get out of being? I know, like, I can beat you, bitch. Ooh, let me stop cursing. It's like, what was I getting out of fighting all the time? I wasn't getting nothing out of it. So it's just like, what's the point? Dang, I think this contour is pretty kind of dark. I don't like that. It was like, what's the point? Like, I literally wasn't getting anything. It's like, what can I really get out of that? Nothing. What? Y'all be scared of me? What's that gonna do? I didn't want nobody to be scared of me. I wanted people to see me for who I was. Like, the real genuine person that I am, because I really am a genuine person. And if I say I got your back, I got your back. So it's like, I didn't want to fight no more. And, like, you know, I was always smart, you know, I always read a lot. Like, I just always liked reading, even in Elizabeth. Like, I read a whole lot more in Elizabeth than I do out here. But I feel like the books that entertain me nowadays has changed. I think that's why. Well, yeah, I started, like, really paying a whole lot more attention in class, really taking school a whole lot way more serious. I remember I used to think I was cursed, because it's like, I used to think, like, dang, why every year I'm always fighting? Why I always end up fighting? Like, I really thought I was cursed. Like, I thought it was some type of curse that I was in. But when I got to Highland, the high school I went to, I didn't fight again until, like, my senior year. But it was just like one fight. But I didn't fight again for a good 3 years, and I was just so proud of myself. I was just like, well, you know, after, you know, the 3 years, I'm like, oh my god. But kids don't fight. It's not, I'm not gonna say it's not cute, but it's like, ugh, it ain't even worth it. I became, like, better, like, more hardworking too, and I didn't let petty stuff get to me anymore. It's like I wasn't caught up in any, I was barely caught up in any little petty drama, because, like, it didn't matter to me. Like, I was just chill, and I like that. Like, I was still wild. Like, when you really got to know me or be around me a lot, you're gonna be like, ugh, TT's crazy. Like, she play around a lot, you know, like, cause you know you get into, like, you know me, like, we're close now. But a lot of people will say I'm like chill, and like, you know, I didn't do a lot because I really did calm down when I moved out here, and I'm just like, I'm real proud of myself for that. Because and sometimes I like I said, like, the transition, it was real weird, and and the way it was done wasn't the best, but it did have an impact on my life, and it did, you know, turned around and turned out to be not that bad. Oh my gosh, I hope this video is not as long as I think it is. I feel like this video is gonna be an hour long, and I really didn't want to make it an hour long. And you know, even till now, like, I graduated high school. I'm a freshman in college now. I'm almost done with my semester, and I look back and I think about like how I was as a kid, how I was in high school, and how much I've grown, and I'm actually real proud of myself, because I really am real hard on myself. And it's like, sometimes I just gotta remember like how I used to be and some of the things I went through, and how they really helped me grow and become a stronger, better person. And it's like, dang, if I could change, anybody can change. If I can grow, anybody can grow. Because I really wish y'all would see how I used to be like. But I did really meet a lot of great people out here too. I really did. Like, there was some good people who was like on the same path I was, like, but I'm not gonna say on the same path, but was like trying to do better for themselves, just like I was, you know. And I was around a lot of those people. Like, those are the most of the people I hung out with. Like, people who wanted to grow, do better, or really want goals in life, or really had goals in life. And you know, and I ain't gonna lie, my goals in the beginning of high school to now has changed a lot. Like, I would have never thought I would start a YouTube channel. And the only reason why I started my YouTube channel is I didn't realize how unhappy I felt till senior year. You know, when I started realizing like track, like, I ain't gonna lie, it taught me a lot and I enjoyed it. But this is not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, running track. And I hate how husky I was getting. I wanted to start something new. I wanted to really step out my box. Like I said, now here I am with a YouTube channel. And I ain't gonna lie, I really do enjoy, like, the enjoyment I used to have running track. That's how I kind of feel about my channel, but a little bit more, because it's like, I really do enjoy recording, you know, editing. Even though editing can take a minute, but it's like I'm finally stepping out my this box that I felt like I've always been stuck in. It's like I'm really stepping outside the box for once, and really like doing more with myself than I was doing before. Like how I am now, it's like I'm on this road. Like, you know, I'm 20 years old now. I'm practically an adult, but I'm a young adult. So it's like my life is really starting to start. Like it's really starting to start. And the way I am now, I'm really more on some like growing myself, growing my mindset. And I know how I want to live my life. Well, really, the way I want to be, I want to be happy with myself, happy with my decision. Just do a whole lot better for myself and continue to keep growing. Like, that's how I really feel right now. And I feel like I'm still growing and still learning a whole lot more about myself, and just keep becoming a whole better version of me. Like, I have so much more to live for. And I just want to live every day like there's no tomorrow. Keep setting goals for myself. Because me setting goals for myself helps me really to just keep going every day. Because right now I just feel like I'm stuck and I'm not moving. And every day I'm doing something so I can at least accomplish those goals. It makes me feel like, you know what? I want to see where this can go. Like, I want to see like where my life is gonna go. Because I know I have so much to live for. I don't know, I just know that I'm like growing every day. I just don't want to get too detailed with my life, because I'm like a personal person. I don't really like putting all my business on social media. And right now I feel like I'm really on the, like, I'm always working on myself. Like, if you know me, you always hear me saying I gotta work on myself, because there's always something, I'm not gonna say new to change about myself, but always something new to learn, always something new to learn about myself. and there's always something new there's always something I want to do to better myself. So if you know, you're gonna always hear that, and the reason you're always gonna hear that is because there's so much to accomplish in life, and there's so many goals that I want to set, and that's what keeps me moving. And I feel like that's what keeps me going, like always wanting to do better for myself, or like having these goals. Like that's what keeps me going. That's what makes me me. Like always wanting to be more than what I already am. That's what makes me me. And y'all probably like, girl, your face look all caked up, give it a minute. And I'm glad I really did start this channel, because it makes me feel like I'm doing something with myself. Because after I was done with track, it was just like, well, girl, what now? You're out of high school, you're in college, you're about to be in debt, and you still figuring yourself out. And the only reason why, like I said, there's always something new I'm learning about myself. That's why I feel like I'm still figuring myself out. But there's, you know, there's a lot of things I notice about myself too. So it's like this, like me having this channel, I feel like it gives me a reason to keep going, because I don't ever feel like I'm not doing anything with myself. And I was really hoping not to get too personal on this channel, but you know, someone requested this video. I don't know how much she's gonna like it, but like I said, I didn't want to get too personal, and I need a video to drop. But yeah, I'm done with my makeup. Y'all probably like, oh, you looked all caked up. Hold up, y'all, I'll be right back. I had to put a setting spray on this, and it kind of wet my hair a little bit. Ooh, ugh, now I messed up the edges. If you watch this video all the way to the end, first I want to say thank you. Thank you for listening to my little story, I guess. And also, you have entered the giveaway. I am doing a 2-winner giveaway. I'll let you guys know what the giveaways are going to be in the next video, but I'll let you guys know how I'm going to do the giveaway once you guys have gotten my channel to 100 subscribers. Plus I have a little YouTube channel, Instagram page, where I'm trying to put all my YouTube videos, promote all my YouTube videos, ask questions about the type of videos y'all want to see on that YouTube page, separate from my personal page. And you guys gotta stay active too. So all I want to say is thanks for watching, and stay tuned, turn that post bell notification on, subscribe, get the channel to 100 subscribers so you can get this thing up and running. Bye. Hey friends, welcome back.